just go back and make it single line each. I don't want to waste much time on design. Okay. Okay, so I want us to go back to future. Okay, we can start from there. Okay, we have here last name view. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put everything on line because I want to waste too much time on design. I'll go ahead and give another property, which is what? After last name, we have what? We have last name, we have email and password. Email and password. Email underscore view, and after doing that, we just give this hint as what? As email, and then we give the type here, input type, email address. Okay, so after doing the email, we'll go ahead and give the what? The password. We give the password. So I just duplicate this one and call it what? Password view. Okay, input type, password, password text. Okay, can just keep it just as text. Password, just a plain text. Okay, but visible. So after giving the password, give the phone number. Oh, there are so many. I don't want to overwhelm our users. Phone number, phone number view, and then lastly we'll give the address for this time. Address. The gender, will leave it. Maybe he can specify it later. Give this an address view, and the hint will be address. Okay, like this, address. So, and then we can remove this. Remember me, this one you can use it maybe to do the button group of if gender male or female, but for now I'll just remove it. That one you can do it later. This one, right? Okay, so this button will go be what? Will be sign up. Oh, create account. So okay, so we can add there another text, like if you already have an account, you can as well create an account, but for now we can leave this one the way it is. Okay, sign up. Okay, so after doing that, then let us put the backend logic. So the backend logic will begin straight away from here. The first name, so I'm going to come at the back end and then create maybe a method that will be binding these views. So let me just call it here maybe bind underscore views. That will be finding the objects of everything. Press Ctrl Enter and then create this method. So the first object that we're going to do is the edit text of first name. Okay, I'll just come and copy this, and in this one we'll have to bind this code. Find view by ID, id dot first name. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create the other one of last name. Okay, I hope we are together. So last name it will be here, so it's going to be r.id.last name. So the other one is going to be the email. Email view. Okay, so we're creating the email view. We'll go ahead and create the password. And then the password, we go ahead and get the phone number. And after that, we'll go ahead and get the address view. And then we'll go ahead and get the submit our sign up button. Okay, sign up button. It's going to be an object of a button. Don't do a mistake and attach it there. Just your app crashing, wondering what's the problem. Okay, and without wasting much time, we're going to set here a click listener. The set on click listener is going to be new on click listener. Okay, so it's going to collect the data. Okay, when call the function called maybe validate data. So before you submit the data, you have to first validate it. Okay, so I'll create this function by just simply pressing Alt and Enter to create the function here. Okay, so there we are. So here we're going to have a new user object. So going to be user model. I'm going to call it new user model. Okay, like this. I'm going to call it new user like that. Is it called new user to just initialize it? Okay, call the default constructor. Then let's start collecting the data. So the first name is equal to first name view dot what dot get text dot what dot string. Okay, so we go ahead and check if this string is greater than 0. If this string dot length is less than what? Is less than 2. There's no one with the name. They can toast and say first name too short, maybe first name too short, something like that, to just try to validate. Can add more constraint there, and then here we will not proceed. Okay, and then you can also as well request a focus on the first name. Very good. Dot first name view dot request focus. So after doing that, we'll go ahead and validate the second. If you pass that level, well, then you have to get the first, let's say the last name, right? So it's going to be user last name. It's going to be last name last name view and dot get text. So you have to check here for last name. If it is too short, you can say last name is too short, and then we request a focus to to the last name. I hope we are together. Then you can go ahead and get the the email. And can get email. There is a Android way of how you can validate email. Is I don't know, it's Android. I showed it in another video how you can validate the email if it is correct or not. Android dot util I forgot it. but there's a way how you can validate an email. For us to just do the simple way, if the email is empty, we can just say email cannot be what? Email cannot be left empty. There's a way I can validate email using Android. So here I'm checking for what? For email, and then I request focus to the email view. So what else do we want? We want the phone number, password. So password. It's going to be password view. So go and check here. If the password is empty, I can say password cannot be what? Can be empty. I can say this password is too short, maybe less than 4. Password is too weak. Okay, so request the focus on what? On password view. Okay, so lastly, the address and the phone number, it's optional. So you can go ahead and just collect the address from the address view, and phone number from what? From the phone number view. So once you pass these things, then you can call the what? The submit method button. Okay, submit maybe data, submit user, submit what? Create user, anything. Okay, so in this method is where we're going to do what? To create this, to log in this what? To log in this user. Okay, so to log in this user, what we're going to do, to create the user account, to create the user account, first of all we have to finish the remaining things. For example, we have to get also the user type, user ID. This one we'll get it from the other side. User type is going to be, by default, it's going to be maybe customer by default, right? What else have we left here? The gender we can leave it as nothing for now. What else do we need? Gender, registration date, we can get the timestamp. Reg date, we can get the timestamp. Okay, I can also do it from this point. That's it. Profile photo, we can leave it as nothing for now. Okay, the profile photo is done. What else? Registration date, we're going to find it. Okay, so after doing that, let's go ahead and create the user. So to create the user here, first of all, we will need the Firebase instance. Okay, so it's going to be Firebase Firestore, you can call DB, and you're going to call it equal to new dot what? Dot instance or get instance? There is already wait, why are we making lights? So had Firebase Firestore.get instance. Okay, I never memorized it up to now. Okay, I just copy again and again. Okay, so there we have the Firebase instance. So in the first place, we need to launch our what? Our loader. So we're going to have here a progress what? Progress dialog. I can as well put it here. Okay, progress dialog. Progress dialog PD. Can it confuse us? Then here I'll be initializing it equal to new progress dialog and text what? The context. Very good. So after doing that, we'll have to initialize the user. We'll have to first check if the user is not existing. The user with same email is not what? is not existing. So to check, I can first set this one. Set what? Set title. It's going to be maybe please wait. I can set it to be cancelable, to be none. Set cancelable. Okay, from now on to set it to be cancelable. Okay, can go ahead and set it to be set cancelable to be what? To be false, so that the user should not be able to do what? To cancel when it is progressing. Okay, so after we'll go ahead and check if this user is already existing on the database or not. So to do that, we'll just simply say database dot let me create here the users public static variable string, so that we'll have the single string that we'll be using for the rest of the users. So it's going to be public static string static final, like that, public static final string, and I'm going to call it use. I don't know whether this will continue recording the sound. Let me up, so let me make sure it's your loss. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put here users table, and it's going to be maybe users like this. I can keep it in small letters or nothing. So this is going to be just a table of users that we'll use to do what? A name of a table of users that we'll use to record data on what? On database. So before we register the user, we have to check if this user is existing on database or not. So it's going to be db dot what? Dot collection. Dot collection is what? Is users table. Okay. Dot document. Dot we can put here where. I don't know whether I ever taught you there. So you just get the document. I put here dot query. Is it dot query? Dot where? I want to put the condition where the user is having the same email. Okay. So you don't put dot document. Just put dot where. Okay. So we pass here the property, and here the value. Okay, the field and the value. So that's how you can query the what? The database. So you want to get the user which is having the same email. If the user is having the same email, then we'll not go ahead and register this user. Okay, so we can just post here email is equal to the email of this current user, which is new user dot what? Dot email. So that's how you can query the database. One of the way you can query the database. And then you add dot set on dot get. First you have to get it, and then dot set on success what? Add on success listener or set? Add on success listener, going to be new on success listener, and then here we'll have to query the objects. So here we'll have dot on fail dot add on fail, going to be here new on fail listener. Then here I can put a toast that failed to do what? Failed to create account. Oh, failed to connect to internet. Fail to connect to internet. Here the enter so that you can see things clearly. This is just a toast. Okay, I hope you know how to make a toast, everyone. Okay, so it's going to be fail to connect to internet, and then I put here because I can have the reason in the exception plus e dot what? Dot get message. Okay, so I hide this progress dialog. Okay, so here I'll have to show it. Dot show here, right? So here I have to dismiss it. dot dismiss, or you can first add dot hide. If you dismiss, then this time it will have to initialize it here afresh, no problem. And then after we do what? We comment. So here it is in case it is successful. Okay, so when it is successful, I have to check if there is anything that returned with this email. So it means that if there's anything that returned with this email, I'll have to tell the user that the user with same email is already what? Is already existing. So to do that, we just simply, let me collapse this so that you can see the code clearly. Okay, so we just simply say if document dot walaikum salam is empty, note. Okay, if the document is empty, note, then I'll know there is a what? There is a user with the same email. Yeah, so I check here if there is no document that is existing, then I mean if there's document that is existing, because I don't want to use the opposite way. If there's document that, no, if it's not empty, then you know that the document is not existing. So if the document that is, if this one is not empty, then I'll know there's a document that does what? That does exist. So I'll make a toast and return here. Let me just paste the same thing. Okay, here, this is just a simple toast. I can just simply say a user with same email already exist, and then I remove this exception, and then I make it long, and then I hide and I return. Make sure that you do what? That you don't go beyond here. Otherwise, if you don't return, then it will be pointless. Okay, so after you pass this level, then you know, okay, now you're good to do what? To be registered. Okay, so we'll have to get now your what? Your ID. So to get the ID is going to be new user dot what? Dot user ID is equal to db dot collection, and then you pass user what? User table dot what? Dot get ID. Very good. Get ID. Get ID. And then we have to get the timestamp of registration date. Okay, there's a reg date. Firebase has a way how you can get it for us, but I don't want to stress things. I can as well get it from the local timestamp, from where the user registers from. Get timestamp 100. I don't even memorize that. Do you have connection though? So you search that or not on internet, get timestamp, then Stack Overflow will give you the solution. The solution, just simply put calendar.getTime .get instance .get times .get time to give you the timestamp. That is so beautiful. Okay, as simple as that. Will it give it time and timestamp? Then I just press Alt and Enter. Import the class of calendar. This one, oh no, the second one, I think. First one of util. Oh, it is to date. So I have to convert it to what? To timestamp. Here, you add this. I guess instead of get meals. To string. You have to convert it to string because it comes in form of what? In form of a long int. Okay, so to convert it to string, just put string dot value of I hope it will not throw an error like this, to make sure that is out. You can even add just an equal sign and then it will pass. So you see, when I add the equal sign, this value will go. Okay, so there we are good to register what? We are good to register a user. So to register user, the dialog is still there, spinning. Then we'll go ahead and say db. I can create another method for registering the user, or I can as well embed it here. Okay, just up to me, right? So because I want to have many methods, this is submit data, register user, all these things. Okay, so just put db dot what dot collection user what user table dot what dot document. So this user already have an ID, so you just put document and then dot what dot set, and then you pass the new user object. Okay, and then add the listeners. Okay, dot add on success listener. It's going to be new on success listener, and then here here we're going to do what to make a toast. Okay, but before we do that, let's first handle the on fail. So this on fail, you can just simply copy this part like this, okay, and paste it here. Okay, so fail because that just the same thing. So here on success, you can just simply get this toast and say the user account has, and hide the dialog and say the user account has created successfully. Okay, user account was created successfully. Okay, so you have to log in this user. Okay, let me call here a method for logging this user, right? So after I dismiss, let me just, that method of login user will be later, but I'm just going to put here login user. Okay, each method is blocked on the logic of what, of logging in the user. So I'll create it in this main activity, sign up activity. Okay, so here I can just simply put a simple toast and say logging in new user. I will handle this later, right? So I hope we are together at this point. So I hope we are together, right? So for those who are watching, this is the method. Just look at it step by step as you relate. Okay. Okay, so that's much. Let's go ahead and do what, and register the user and create this account. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to feed some dummy content in this sign up form. For example, in this first name, I'm going to give it a value. I'll delete them later, right? Value, text. Going to HTML. John, and this one John Hamdan. John Hamdan. John Hamdan. And then here the email. Will keep it jonh@gmail.com. And then after, we'll give the password of 123456. That will be our password. And then we'll give the phone number of 016322509. So I'll put there the phone number, and then I'll come here and put the what? The address. Maybe Dhaka, Bangladesh. Okay, so with that said, okay, so I think that's it. Let's go ahead and run the what application. But before I run the application, I have to add this method that can open this in our main home menu. So I come here to our main home menu, here main activity, and I'll duplicate this one to maybe open sign up, open, or sign up, sign up, and I'm going to call this one sign up activity dot class, and then after I'm going to call this method on the main activity. Okay, so I'll duplicate this one, and then I'll duplicate paste it here, right? So it's going to be sign up. Okay, so we have that one there. Okay, so this is the method that you will click on this button, and it will call this method for what? For signing up the user. Okay, and this one will open this sign up activity. So let's go ahead and run this project. So is the application. So go ahead and click on sign up. I hope there is no error because we did everything without testing anything. Okay, so click on sign up and it will open. Oh, it's ugly. We're supposed to remove this thing but we'll do it later. We're supposed to remove this toolbar. We don't need it on every activity. We'll do later. We'll just do that no action bar theme, but for now let's just keep it at that. Okay, so I click on sign up because everything is already filled. So to start signing up, progress, please wait. Perfect. User account has created successfully without any error, and logging in the user right now. So we click on sign up again. User with same name, email already existing. We read that is very, very good. Okay, so that much said, now we're going to work on the logic of what? Of logging in the user. So this is going to be a little bit complicated, but you'll get the point later. I mean, you'll get the point as we move on. So to log in the user, we are supposed to keep this user. What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this user's information, who's logged in, on a local database. So when the user will be opening the application, I'll be getting the information to the user from this database and check if this user is logged in. If I have anything that I get from the database, on the user is logged in. If I have nothing that I get from the database, I know there is no any user is logged in the database. That's the main point that I'm going to use this database, just to keep logging in the user and checking if they are not logged in. That's what we're going to do in this main database. The database not do the very big part, because in some other database we need to save these products offline. All these things I'll not do that, because Firebase will take care of all that. In case you're offline and Firebase is still having this instance offline, it can give us the instance. Okay, but if you are using the plain if you use the plain logic, for example, if you don't use Firebase, we use our own database from maybe PHP or any other, then we can take care of how we can save this data on what? On the offline database. But for the Firebase to take care. But for the sake of the user, we have to know exactly whether the user is logged in or not logged in. So that's why we're going to need a what? A database, a local database. So we have we have a database that we use. This database is called it's just a simple database that can simplify the SQL or SQLite. Okay, it can simplify SQLite. It's not as heavy as Room database. It is a little bit simpler and simpler way to use, and not complex like what? Like Room database. So in case you're going to do a simple thing like this one, you can use that database. Even when you're going to do a complex project that is not so complex, but intermediate project, not so complicated, you can use that database to do what? To store your data. Okay, it simplifies the SQLite database. Okay, so that database is called Sugar ORM. You can search it on internet. Just search Sugar ORM. I don't know why the guy based to name that database like Sugar ORM. I don't know what he based on. Just search Sugar ORM on database on internet. You can search, add the word Android, and then go on GitHub. You'll get the repository for this Sugar ORM local database. Okay, so this is the latest Sugar ORM Sugar database. So we're going to follow the steps step by step, and you see how we can implement this database. I implemented long ago, but I think right now we can still use it. Okay, so this is what they say, that we need to implement this one in our what? In our Gradle. So I'm going to add this one in our what? In our Gradle. So implementation com.github.thisman.sugar.1.5. So I'll copy this one. So I have to also copy the same, and then we go to our Gradle module here, and then you're going to add it there. Can put a comment here, local database, and then we'll sync the project so it can add this local database in our project. So it's done syncing. So the next step is we have to add the permission. You have to add in application. You have to add these attributes. Okay, in our application in the manifest, Android manifest, we have to add these attributes. Okay, so let us go there and add these attributes as well. Explain everyone step by step. Okay, so I'll copy this and then go to our Android manifest, which is here. Double click, and then here in the application is where we're going to add those attributes. Okay, in the application tag here. Sorry, in the application tag here, Android manifest here. It's going to add these attributes. So the first attribute is going to be the package name. Okay, the package name. What do you say? The use attribute. What I don't know what it means. I think this is the it's the package name. Our package name, I think. Let me put our own. If it fails, we'll come and put the one that he put. So this is the package name. Okay, so I'll put our own here, banjulfood.com. It's not resolving. Okay, let's leave the one that he put. Okay, it's okay. So after putting the package name, we'll go ahead and put the database name. It's going to be maybe the name of a database that will be used. So you have to choose a name that is that will not conflict with other files. Okay, are we putting these things in the right place? Wait, no, these are tags inside the application, not in the tab. It's supposed to be inside here, inside the application tag. Okay, like this. So inside the application tag, so in this one it will be inside the attributes. This one it's supposed to be inside the attribute here, like this. Okay, this ORM sugar to be in the attribute of application, then this meta tag inside the what? Inside the application itself, inside application tag. So you have database name, put banjulfood.com.db, and then we give the version. It's going to be 1 for the first version, and query log we set it to true, and then the package name, yes, where we put the package name, I think here. Okay, the package name, we get our package name, which is this one, and put it here. Okay, so I don't know why it is collapsing it like this. Yeah, okay, so that's no problem. This is just organizing it because our code is too big. So but that's the way how we add that. Okay, so we add this attribute inside the tag, and then these ones outside here. So after doing that, okay, after adding those tags, okay, we go ahead, follow the documentation. So let's say now we have to create the what? The database. That I will have to create the database itself. Your models and so first. So to add a certain model into the into this database, to add a certain model, you just simply come to the model and make it extend the sugar, ORM sugar. So I'll come here to our model. For example, I want to be saving the what? The user model here. Okay, so I have to here and comes and say it extends ORM sugar record. So by doing like that, this this model will have things that you can do to work with the database. That's the only thing. Okay, so after making it extend, these are for other things. If you want to go into the list. Okay, so after making it extend, then you have to do what? In case you want to make anything ignore, you can just put here at ignore, like this, ignore. In case you want to save something, in what? In the database, you can just simply use this at ignore in capital letter. In case, for example, I don't want to save this email attribute, I can simply say add ignore, then it will ignore it. It will not be considered. Okay, so the other thing we have to do what to make a primary key. I don't know why they put a primary key. It's supposed to be the word unique. It's supposed to be at unique. You have to specify primary key that can uniquely identify. So you have that at ignore, other operations, ID, author. Yes, all that. So you have to put the what to identify the primary key. You just put by it at what at unique. Begin the capital letter, and this is the user ID, of course, which is the unique one. So by doing like that, it will make this user ID to be always unique and will not allow you to save multiple users with the same user ID. So that's how we do what we create the user. I mean, we create the database. Very, very simple. Now by doing like this, you can go ahead and start saving into this database. Okay, so if you want to save this user, if you want to save a certain user in the database, what we do, we just simply go to this. So let us go to the project that we're going to do. I mean to the sign up. There is sign up. Sign up here. Okay, it is here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, instead of submitting data, okay, let me just create a dummy content. Wait. I want to do a logic here. I don't want to register this user again and again and again. Instead of, after validating data, here we are doing what? After validating data, we call for submit data. So instead of submitting data, I'm just going to save this user on what? On database, and then later we'll remove this logic. Okay, we're going to call the login user, just as you practice, and then later we'll remove this block. Okay, so this is just for what? For testing. So to make a return, just say if true, and then you return. Then it will not go beyond here. Okay, so here it's going to call for this login user. So login user here, the user of course has been created. I'm just going to do what? To log in the user. So to log in the user, remember we already have the object of what? Of the user. All we need the what? The ID and the registration date, because do those things later. So I can get them here, but we'll also remove this one later. So I'm going to put them here, right? So I put them here. So to save the user, you just say user model dot save. Okay, very simple. And then it will save the user in a database. It knows. Okay, but save the user. So I'll just use this if condition. If, or you can use try and catch. Try. So if it passes here, I can print in console. Log D, like this. Let me create a tag here. Log what? Log T, sign up activity. So I can put here the cache, okay, and with the exception E, and I'll tell the reason. Okay, so I can put here saved. User successfully. Okay, so let me just put here like my specific ID, maybe ID1. Okay, I hope you're together, right? So if it fails, I'll put here, let's say log D, and I give the reason. Fail to save user. Save what? Save user. And I put here the reason, because e dot what dot get message. Then I'll know the reason why. So that's how I can test this too. So by doing like this, we are able to go ahead and start testing. So if I want to make this one to be a little bit unique, I can put there maybe an underscore that I can just see to be working with only these things only. So let's go ahead and run the application and see if these things will work. Run it. So I put here our tag, and then after we go to, it in the log cat, right? Then we go to what? To sign up form, and then I click on sign up. So we can see saving the user, and then you can look at here, save the user successfully. Let us try to save the user again. Save the user successfully, but it don't implement that ID thing, but I will find out what's the reason why I did not implement the what? The user ID, because it's not supposed to save the user the same ID. But you can see it is saving the user successfully. It don't bring the what? The error. So that is the main point. So we are going to finish the video by checking if the user is logged in or not logged in, because we will not allow you to check to do what we want to check if the user is logged in or not logged in, because not allow you to create an account if you're still what? If you're still logged in. So I'll just create this method. I'm going to call it check or get logged in user. Okay. Oh, one more thing, we need to initialize. Wait, we did not initialize. I think there's some error here. Initialize, I have to call a method for initializing. I have to call this method for initializing. If table is not initialized, we'll create it. It's called instance. Maybe they changed it, because before we couldn't save without initializing. Okay, let's see if it does not get these users, then we'll know that we have to initialize it. Okay, so here to get the users, just use this find all. You can find by ID, you can find all. Okay, very, very simple. So I'm going to create a method that's going to get all the users that are logged in, that are already saved. Okay, so it's just going to be find all. So here just put what? User model, a list of user model. Can put here users maybe, and then put here the user model dot list all, and then you put the class that you want. User model class. It's very simple. So I can check if this is empty, or can check if let me put in a try and catch exception E, and put here the reason why. So if it successfully get these users, okay, I'll check if users is equal to null. I can put here that users null. Just want to check, just for testing, users is null, just to find out why. Then I return at this point. Okay, and then I'll check if not null, so it will pass here. I can say I just put this log cat this part here. I can just put found. Our time is over. I think we'll finish this in the next class. Found plus this dot what dot size users. Okay, okay, so that I'll tell. So let's go ahead and call this method immediately. Yeah, just finishing this part. Well, not even finished today. Also, I'm just going to call this method after the bind, because I'll tell if the user is logged in or not logged in before I keep them going on. So after binding the fuse, I'll call this method. I can call it even here, get the logged in user. Okay, here. So on create, it will just call this method. You can look at it. Okay, so let us run the application and see what we've got. Logcat, sort of process. So I click on sign up. I can see found one user. That is beautiful. Okay, so the one user has been what? Has been found. Okay, so from the next class we'll start from there, where we'll work on the logic of finishing logging in the user. Creating the user account and logging in the user and clear this mess, and then we go to the next thing of presenting the products and submitting the order if the time allows. That will do it in the what? In the next class. But for today's class, make sure that you can register the user and you can at least log in the user up to this point to see that there's a user that has been logged in what? In the system. You see, it updated the user. It did not do two because they are having what? The same ID. So it had to update it in case it's already existing. So we'll do that everything in the what? In the next video. But at this, from the end of this video, make sure that you at least you can install the Sugar ORM in your project. Okay, you can as well search and learn more about this ORM Sugar. It's very simple to deal with, very, very simple, not so complicated. Just come and search and learn more, play with it. That by the next class you'll have a little enough idea about it. Okay, we'll meet in the next class, inshallah.